Of course. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm good. I think we're both kind of riding an emotional high. We both saw Avengers over the weekend.
That's what it is. Yes.
And we're kind of we've had our. We're not going to spoil anything. People are watching. We'll do a separate. We should probably just do a separate Avengers spoiler cast or something.
Let's just say Avengers was freaking amazing.
It was really good.
So good.
Really good.
I mean, I was telling you before we started that as many people who are devotees of this podcast know, I hated Star Wars with a vengeance. I hated Star Wars Episode 8 so much. It was such a rotten movie. This makes up for it. I mean, this was such a good, well-written, well-executed movie. And yeah, just cannot wait to see what's next.
For sure. Yeah, they're really well. Hi, Dave. Dave Barry in the Facebook chat. Hi, Dave.
Oh, nice. Hey, what's up?
Nerd Barry himself. Yeah, they're really set up well for what's to come. And the next Marvel Cinematic Universe movie is Ant-Man and Wasp, which comes out later on this year, which looks really good. I'm excited for that. I love Paul Rudd, so I look forward to oh god, lightning.
Uh-oh.
With
whoa, I heard that.
Well, if the podcast just stops, that's why. So that's next, and then they've already announced, the Captain Marvel's coming out next March. And then supposedly we get into the Avengers 4. So that will kind of end the MCU as we know it right now before the plan into 2025, I think is the plan right now. So
how are they going to carry it on into the next phase?
Well, that's part of the fun of watching the movies is seeing how they're going to do this. So
I guess there we go.
There we go. Shall we dive into the meat of the podcast, the talk of professional wrestling and video games?
Let's get meaty.
All right, I'm feeling meaty. I'm feeling beery as well. Cheers. WWE had the greatest Royal Rumble last weekend in Saudi Arabia last Friday. This is due to a 10-year deal that Vince McMahon has with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And many people were thinking that this was going to be a big deal, and to the point where it was going to affect WrestleMania to a certain extent.
Right.
But looking at kind of watching things on the Greatest Royal Rumble, this was a glorified house show.
It really was, and I'm glad that I kind of fast-forwarded through most of it. I watched a few things, but yeah, I decided to skip on most of it because I was starting to hear reports that, it was kind of a glorified house show.
So, which is I understand why, because not many Americans were tuned in to watch it because it started at our time around 11. Mm-hmm. So people are usually working because we have jobs.
Like this guy.
Yeah, like both of us are having jobs, and people in the chat have jobs. Mm-hmm. So really, I mean, the match overall, I think the card was fine. It's just nothing of importance actually happened. The only title belt to change hands, quote unquote, was when Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt took the Raw Tag Team Championships, which was kind of foretold because their competition went to freaking SmackDown.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's like I don't know.
A lot of weird timing with some of these switches. Like, okay, let's start Samoa Joe into a feud with Roman Reigns, which is going to be awesome. But no, we're going to put Samoa on SmackDown. So
right, and I
not a lot of logic. But yeah, that tag team title win by the Deleter of Worlds was the most important thing that happened on that show.
Yeah, well, we're going to get there because then the botch of botches happened. Two of them actually. Because the Jeff Hardy Jinder Mahal botch was pretty spectacular.
That one I missed out on.
Jeff Hardy missed the Whisper in the Wind by a mile, and Jinder still sold it like a champion.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. And then I could watch that Titus O'Neil, the crash of the Titus. I could watch that all day, every day.
That was something.
And hear Graves and Michael Cole lose their goddamn minds. That was the best part.
Oh,
that was the best part.
That dude was sliding into home base and he was safe.
So good. But yeah, nothing really came of it. And like all the belts got retained, which kind of makes sense because they really didn't want this to mess with storylines going forward. I can see that.
Well, I was kind of surprised. I thought for sure because you got a much more traditionally friendly audience in the Saudi Arabia crowd. So what I mean by that, they're much more traditionally friendly towards traditional faces, and they'll actually boo traditional heels. Like John Cena comes out, there's no massive boos. There's no John Cena sucks. No, there's none of that. It's just a bunch of kids that are really excited and a crowd that's hot to see WWE. That was actually really cool.
Sure. Yeah.
So I thought, what a perfect opportunity for them to go ahead and have Roman take his moment at the Greatest Royal Rumble, walks out and comes back home as WWE champion. No, they didn't do it. They stuck with Brock.
But in controversial fashion, like they had to put the asterisk on it with like he got speared out of the cage and he touched the floor. It just, and then the AJ Shinsuke match went to a no contest outside of the ring. It's just,
I was okay with that because I thought that was a really good match. I thought that was actually better than their WrestleMania match.
Yes, it was.
And you can definitely feel that Shinsuke's got some new life in him.
Well, because now it's 1-1. So now it's AJ 1-1, won to a no contest. I think they may have wrestled on SmackDown, maybe.
Maybe. But I'm just feeling a new energy watching Shinsuke in the ring.
Because he's a heel.
Yeah,
because now he's a heel.
He's got the heel, so he's a little less restricted on what he can do as far as, attitude and everything like that. He's got the new theme music, which debuted at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Dope.
It is so good. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I was streaming and somebody put in the song request in the jukebox. I'm like, what is this? This is awesome. It's actually his actual new theme, which is even better than what he came out. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it is. It is so good. So that was the highlight for me, was the Shinsuke AJ match. It's like, this is what we should have done.
Titus falling on his damn face.
Well, Titus falling on his face. But yeah, that Roman versus Brock match was just, it was worse than their WrestleMania match, which was terrible.
Yeah. So I don't know where they go from here. It's like, because we have to get the belt off Brock at some point. Like Brock, okay, it's not that he can't be champion. He probably shouldn't be champion for this long. He already built the prestige up. Every championship match feels like a big match with Brock.
Sure.
So that part has been realized. I get it. But at some point, we got to take a younger, because now you keep building up Brock. Whoever beats Brock is unbeatable.
But at this point, with how many times Roman has won it and then come close and not won it, it feels like they're trying to build it up to this moment where once he does finally beat Brock Lesnar, there's a collective sigh of, finally Roman wins, and there's jubilation. That's not what's going to happen. The crowd is not invested in Roman Reigns.
Right. He is not Daniel Bryan. So they're trying to do the D-Bry thing with Roman Reigns, and the audience does not have that connection with Roman Reigns that they do with Daniel Bryan.
Stick him back with the Shield and have him win then. Just stick him back with the Shield, guys.
Well, as soon as Ambrose comes back from injury, which might be around SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Their Greatest Royal Rumble. Braun won the Royal Rumble, by the way. Braun wins, and he got that sweet belt.
Yeah. So finally, he gets a belt that he can tote around. Here's your consolation prize.
There's a Braun Nicholas T-shirt out there.
Is there?
It's kind of cool. I think on the back it says, "When I finish school, someone's going to get these hands."
I still want that Mower of Lawns T-shirt.
It's really good. It's really good.
Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shinsuke AJ, SmackDown has just started as we speak, so I see that they opened that with the announcement that AJ versus Shinsuke will take place at Backlash, and it will be a no disqualification match.
Delete! So what do we think here? Do we think that Shinsuke uses his heel tactics to finally take down AJ and become champion at Backlash?
That's I don't know.
Because he's got momentum now. I mean, AJ can eat a loss. AJ can eat a pin.
Absolutely.
If you do underhanded, no DQ, like if you smack him in the face with a flaming chair, I would be out for a while too.
Keep the feud going until SummerSlam and then have it culminate there. By the way, we got to say welcome and thank you for the follow to our newest follower, Andreste Nalo 85. Thanks so much.
Her name's Jessie. Give her a shout out.
I didn't know it was like that.
It's She's a follower of she's a member of Jeff Roth Club, and thanks to me posting all the time ad nauseum, I direct traffic over here to the podcast.
Aren't you sweet? You are as sweet as candy, as I'm sure Jesse will attest.
I'm working my ass off. I'm pimping out Nerd Bacon, okay? There's your gift. Somebody gift that, please.
Yeah, exactly. See,
that happened. They kind of put a bow on the wrestling stuff for a while because there really wasn't anything big because we're building the backlash right now. Outside of the Royal Rumble, PW Insider had said that the female talent on the roster did get paid as if they were working the show.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of bad press about this right now. Not about women necessarily, but so they had said that they're under fire because there was a commercial in the stands running with female wrestlers in it, and in Saudi Arabia it's a no-no. So they came out and said, "No, we apologize for that. Won't happen again." Like there's a lot of negative press around this whole thing. Besides that, and politics. There's negative stuff because of politics. So we'll see what the next 9 years of this deal has to offer, and what WWE does going forward.
The last that I saw, I think we talked about this last week, was that people were complaining because the WWE wasn't going to let women wrestle, and that wasn't anything because of the WWE's fault. That was because culturally,
right,
Saudi Arabia is a backwards nation. For the most part, they're progressing. Women are now able to drive, so there's that. Yeah. just this year, it's fine. Anyhow,
I read something else about that. I read reading this on Deadspin. They were doing an article about kind of the press they were getting on this, and it'd be interesting to see the next 9 years what they end up doing with Saudi Arabia and what they do with this partnership going forward. I don't think we'll see a big name pay-per-view there. We won't see WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. We're not going to see Survivor Series there, but I think you'll see more trips over there, perhaps.
Well, I think you might see some more like Greatest Royal Rumble. You might see a Greatest Survivor Series. I think actually they might have just announced Greatest Survivor Series.
There was some backlash, pun intended. There was some backlash from Arya Davari because he's an Iranian-born superstar. He's in the cruiserweight division. They did a skit where he would come out and wave the Iranian flag while 3 Saudi Arabian talent beat the crap out of him.
I saw and there was that some part, actually.
Political heat about that, so Ari had to go and apologize and say, I'm just portraying a character. Don't hate me, because he's getting death threats.
Well, I'll say it's because there are 2 different predominant sects of Islam. Saudi Arabia, there's the Sunni and the Shia. Saudi Arabia is mostly Sunni, and then Iran is the largest contingent of Shia. Mm-hmm. So they don't like each other because I don't remember the exact reason. It had to do with something that Muhammad may or may not have done. So they disagree, and that they must die because of that.
And outside of that, they also mentioned Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn is a Syrian-Canadian athlete. Mm-hmm. And he does fundraising to help kids in Syria.
I thought you said kids in Syria.
Syria and Saudi Arabia aren't necessarily friends. They're actually enemies. So there's some, again, it's involving politics. So we'll just see after this first initial run what happens going forward with this partnership.
Damn it, Vince! You're gonna lead to World War III. I'm a genius.
No, Eric Bischoff did. Remember, it's a WCW pay-per-view. Speaking of Bischoff, his podcast just dropped yesterday, his new refined podcast. Fascinating. I think I've put over the Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. I've put over the Tony Schiavone podcast. Now I highly recommend the Eric Bischoff podcast. He talked about the genesis of the NWO and how he got Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. And he had Hogan as plan A. And if he dropped out, of course, it's common knowledge now that Sting was the plan B. What the NWO were arguably the greatest faction in professional wrestling history. What was your impressions of NWO as you were watching as a kid?
I really wasn't paying attention to wrestling in '96, so Well, I wasn't paying attention when the NWO formed, so I was I was out of it.
Do you think, hypothetically, would you think that, I mean, I'm under the impression that if it was to be Sting, if Hogan backed out, and if it was to be Sting, I think it still would have worked, but I don't think it would have worked nearly as well as the image of the red and yellow becoming the black and white.
Right. It would have worked, like you said, but yeah, it just had this huge cultural impact.
Yeah. And just, man, you still see NWO shirts at shows now. I mean, besides Bullet Club being as popular as it is now, you still see NWO stuff and NWO merch being worn at any professional wrestling event. So it's still a cultural phenomenon. So it's kind of cool. If you haven't heard the Eric Bischoff podcast, 83 Weeks, go tune in. It's a really fascinating look at Eric Bischoff forming the NWO.
I'll take a look at that.
Okay. Any more wrestling stuff we really want to get to before we kind of get forward? I mean, Backlash is the next big thing.
That's in what, a week, 2 weeks?
I think it's so. That's my I don't know sound. Backlash
is coming. That's the important thing. There's nothing anyone can do to stop Backlash.
May 6th.
So that's like this Sunday.
Yes, this is a SmackDown Go Home show for Backlash. So.
Wow. All right.
So we can see Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. And thanks to the graphics, the C is in blue and is big, so all you see is big ass. It's really good.
But yeah, that is about it. That is about it for wrestling.
Yep. We'll have a kind of Backlash we'll discuss Backlash next week. We'll all watch it and we'll kind of go from there. Video games, Dave.
Video games are happening. Dude, today is May 1st. You know what that means?
A bunch of NSYNC memes and Star Wars memes in 3 days?
Yes, but beyond that, if we can get past that, we all hold our hands and walk together into the brave future. We're like a month away now from E3 2018, brother. It's happening.
Yeah,
it is about to happen. It's so close now that we can taste it. We can feel those E3 juices starting to permeate our skin.
You may want to take a shower. What meme do you hate more? The "It's Gonna Be May" or the "May the 4th be with you"?
I don't think I've ever seen an "It's Gonna Be May" meme.
Wow, you are sheltered.
Yeah, I am. I try to stay off social media as much as possible.
It's currently May.
But yeah, E3's happening, so we're getting all sorts of anticipation for E3 coming up here. I know tomorrow, big day tomorrow, we've got the latest trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 dropping tomorrow. I am all about that.
This is my dance. I don't have to work tomorrow, so I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to write up something about it.
Yeah, write up an analysis of that.
This is my Red Dead Redemption 2 dance.
I'm so excited. I don't even need to see this. Hopefully we'll see some gameplay footage, but I mean,
even if we don't, like, this is a game where any little, I just need the letters RDR2 and I wet my pants. Like, I am so ready for this game to come out.
Yeah.
In typical Rockstar fashion, every game they put out, I'm interested in. Like, I want to know what's going on in Rockstar's games, especially with this one because it's a sequel to one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I love RDR1 with all my heart, and I can't wait for this.
Well, I don't think they've explicitly said it, but I'm pretty sure that that this game is going to be a prequel, so it'll be the events that lead right into the first Red Dead Redemption.
Right, in that train ride, and yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be
really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Of course, you can find a bunch of written articles, and E3 week around Nerd Bacon is going to be pretty hectic. We're going to have a bunch of articles on the site as well as live MST3K style commentary over the press conferences. We'll make fun of them, but also we'll give our reactions. Probably drinking while doing so. So you want to hang out with us because we're having a good time.
Absolutely. But let's start with a few rumors about what's going on.
You sent some links via the Facebook Messenger, and let's start with Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer teases some Japanese presence over at E3. Somebody named Ray Fourth, chairman of the Tojo clan, tweeted...
Ray the Fourth be with you. Yeah.
He tweeted Phil Spencer asking, "Are we going to see JRPGs on your stage this year, Phil?" To which Phil Spencer replied, "As of now, yes. Things can change, but like last year, I wanted to make sure we supported our Japanese publishers on our stage, and this year we are working to do the same. It's important to us."
Can I say, based on that tweet, how happy that one tweet makes me? Just from the fact that somebody in a high up position in a video game developer sense said the word yes, or gave a definitive answer as opposed to, well, we'll have to see our options, or right now we just don't know that. He just said yes, and he's like that. That's refreshing to hear somebody of that caliber just give me a straight up yes or no answer.
Yeah. I mean, we know that later last year and earlier this year, he was in Japan trying to recruit support. So we'll see what the fruits of that labor are.
Right, and he dropped that last year on stage at E3 and just said, "Hey, we're going to go to Japan. We're going to get this stuff over here." So not only is he saying these words and walking the walk, but he is talking the talk, and we'll see the fruits of the cherry blossomed labor on stage this year.
Do you think there might be an acquisition of a Japanese developer in their future?
I wouldn't doubt it. I think that'd be a good first step. I think if they want to build that relationship, they should go in there. I don't want to say poach them, but go in there and say, "Hey, we're serious about this. We would like you to work under our umbrella, and we also are going to buy the rights of Chrono Trigger 2." No.
What publisher do you think that they would purchase? Who would be a good fit for Microsoft to purchase?
Well, I'm trying to think what's over there that's even like, what if they went over and bought Atlas? I'm just saying.
Oh, geez. Well, isn't Atlas tied with Sega now?
Are they?
Nah, maybe I'm wrong.
They
bought Atlas. Holy shnikes.
Like, and they took over the Persona. I mean, Persona was just on PS4, fine,
right.
But so maybe there's some Sony influence. I don't know all the details about the behind the scenes workings about that sort of stuff. But if they bought an Atlas, if they bought, what else is big over there right now that I'm just blanking on?
I could see them poaching Capcom.
Think so?
Yeah, I would not put it past them. And then that leads into another interesting little tidbit that dropped this week as well. Capcom posted a listing of unnamed stuff that they're going to have at E3 this year. And they've got an unnamed, what they're calling action-adventure game for E3 2018 that they're going to be showing. But the thing is, this action-adventure game is not going to be on PlayStation 4. They've got it listed for Nintendo Switch, for PC, and for Xbox One.
Did they go and make a Super Lucky's Tale 2 and said, "Screw you, son, you ain't getting it"?
Well, Capcom didn't have anything to do with Super Lucky's Tale.
So, Capcom got the money, just make it rain.
So it's
we bought Conquer, bitches.
It's interesting that they do have an action-adventure game that's listed. So, could that portend either a deal for exclusivity worked out between Capcom and Microsoft, or could Capcom just have been purchased by Microsoft?
That'd be interesting to see what then happens to, let's say, Street Fighter V.
Well, I think they continue to support Street Fighter V because Sony had paid for Street Fighter V.
I hope they finish that game soon. I hope they finish it and get the servers actually running. Be good.
That's doing all right.
Goddamn fight money. Don't get me started on the fight money issues, okay? Like, I would love that game so much more if I could just buy shit. And they're, goddamn it.
Well, who knows? Maybe Microsoft buys Capcom, and then we get another Capcom fighting game. Like maybe Darkstalkers 4 happens.
If they make CVS 3,
don't play with my heart like that. Don't. You can't.
I recently was playing. I did a PS2 stream. And I played CVS 2, and I went, "Oh yeah, this game is fucking awesome."
CVS 2 was great. That was that was the game that held us over until Street Fighter 4.
When I was at the at Jay's, they had a copy of CVS 2 there, and my copy's missing the booklet. So I almost swiped the booklet and just said peace out. But I said no. I had my moral standards got the best of me.
Good boy.
So I went and gave the money for Shenmue.
So what do you think? Action adventure, what would be a good candidate for Capcom to put on as an exclusive Xbox One release?
Bionic Commando.
Bionic Commando, that's interesting. See, my little brains were thinking the return
Captain Commando.
of the one and only Onimusha.
Sure.
Think about it. Think
Sure.
about it, because I've been saying this for the past couple of years that Onimusha was coming back. Think about Microsoft. They need more exclusive Japanese blood coming into the scene. Sony has these little Dark Souls titles, and they got these Bloodborne titles. Microsoft wouldn't mind a piece of that type of genre action. Why not say, hey, Capcom, let's bring back Onimusha, but let's make it like Dark Souls. Let's make it like Neo. We can do this, right?
Okami 2.
Okami 2. Ooh. A Nintendo Switch and Xbox One exclusive. I could see that.
Yeah.
I would crap my pants for either Onimusha or Okami 2. Yeah. Pretty much any Capcom game that gets announced, I will crap my pants for.
If they make a new Final Fight, that'd be rad too, but...
No, if they make a new Saturday Night Slam Master,
yes,
that would be rad.
God, yes. I still have my...
They have a game... They also have a game that's under the genre fighting/wrestling for PC and PlayStation 4.
Well, that's
probably Street Fighter.
Wrestling? Come on.
Don't now.
I didn't know that. No, my hopes are up.
Yeah, Saturday Night Slam Masters is not happening. Let's not.
Oh, stop it! Why must you shit on my dream? You raised my spirit and shit on my parade.
Let's not be silly about this.
They wouldn't make a good game like Saturday Night Slam Masters.
Oh man.
Oh boy! All right, what else we got? Let's go with let's talk about Sony, because Sony may have just hinted at a 5G PlayStation Portable?
Yeah.
Question mark.
So this is from T3.com. Let me get to the relevant section here. On April 27th, Sony Corporation released its fiscal year 2017 results. And while overall these results were good in terms of its smartphone business, numbers were disappointingly poor. So poor, in fact, that Sony felt it needed to explain why it is staying in the phone business at all. The reason supplied by Sony? 5G technology.
It's like almost all the G's.
Here's
certified
the quote.
G. Yeah.
By enabling high-speed communication, low latency, and simultaneous connectivity, 5G, which is expected to be commercialized in the near future, is a technology which we view as having immense potential since it can connect all portable devices to the cloud. In order to fully utilize this leading-edge technology, we need to retain in-house our fundamental research capability and capability to create related applications. By continuing to work on 5G in our smartphone business, we are aiming to develop 5G technology as a competency that can be used across the Sony group.
That's the key stuff. That's the key sentence right there. Is that if we can make this thing work on smartphones, we can go elsewhere, like in a new Vita PSP style thing.
Right, or even next generation PlayStation 5.
Sure. Okay. Does the thought of a new PSP style device interest you in any way, shape, or form? Seeing how the PSP was treated when it was new, seeing how the Vita is still treated now, is basically an afterthought. I mean, you rarely see Vita stuff being talked about on stage on Sony anymore, and it feels like it feels abandoned.
Now, it is. Yeah, it is abandoned. But now that we have the Switch, which offers the same home console experience on the go, I really don't feel the need to have another dedicated portable unit, whether it's Sony or Nintendo or anybody else. So a new PlayStation Vita or a PSP, whatever you want to call it, that's 5G enabled, that would be intriguing, but I don't think it would be enough to sell me on it. Right.
Does the timing on this seem interesting to you? The fact that Nintendo has got leaked that it was looking at potentially a new handheld, and now all of a sudden, Sony may be hitting at this. This timing seems a little coincidental.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Things seem to move in tandem. You've got to know that Sony is looking at the success of the Nintendo Switch and trying to figure out how portability is going to factor into their next generation plans.
Right.
But I don't think that they would be bold enough to take the course of, okay, we're going to make the PlayStation 5 like the Switch in that it hooks up to a dock and then you can take it wherever you go. I don't think that they would go that route, because then they'd have to kind of pare down the technology that they're using. And
plus some legal issues, I'm assuming Nintendo would say, hey, no.
There's a possibility about that, but Nintendo doesn't usually say that. I mean, they could have said that about any console, but yeah, I don't know.
Like,
it's a tough pickle. It feels like we're on the verge of a momentous shift in the landscape of video gaming and just the way that we view games and play games.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I feel Sony is not quite ready for that shift.
It seems like they're not. Like they know they're out front number wise. At least they're kind of winning the console war, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. But they're not doing the things to stay in front. It seems like they don't know what to do now that they're there. Microsoft is making the right moves as far as saying the right things, going to Japan, doing these Xbox Insider stuff, which I mean aren't great, but it's something. Nintendo is kicking ass with everything it ever does right now. Nintendo has the Midas touch right now.
Right.
Sony is just kind of treading water, it seems. Maybe it's kind of holding out that, hey, we got this until the PS5 comes out. I don't know. Like, it seems like this just seems odd for Sony right now.
If the next generation were simply going to be like everything that came before it, then yeah, I don't think Sony would have much to worry about. But I don't think this next generation is going to be like that. I think there's going to be, like I said, a fundamental shift in how we view and really think about video gaming. And I don't know if Sony has made the moves to be ready for that. I think Microsoft has made those moves.
And Nintendo is the trendsetter right now.
Right.
I mean, Nintendo is setting the bar.
Nintendo's always going to be on its own path. Now,
sure.
We'll see what happens in the next few years, but yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. E3 will start laying the groundwork for that next generation for sure.
I mean, to kind of put a bow on that story, if Sony came out with a 5G PSP like thing, I'd be interested. I'd be curious, but it would take a lot to sell me on it.
Right.
So. Okay, let's feed the hype machine here, Dave. I'm going to call BS on this, but you sent it to me, so I'll look at it. Half-Life 3.
Yes!
According to Reddit, which you can always trust Reddit, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my God! So this was sent by the Watchman to me on Facebook Messenger. So blame the messenger, not the me. Half-Life 3 release date possibly leaked by Portal 2 voice actor during Valve News Network live stream. I'm going to call bullshit already and assume that I'm a wrestling fan. This is a work. But during a live stream yesterday by Tyler McVicker, creator of Valve News Network, someone called in and allegedly claimed Half-Life 3 would be revealed at E3 2018 and released in October 2018. The caller was supposedly Joe Michaels, a voice actor who played the announcer in Portal 2. The video on demand has been nuked, so it has been taken down. Mm-hmm. Threads are getting taken down later on the Half-Life Reddit. Half-Life Discord server mods were banning the videos in the stream being posted. So people are freaking out about this.
And I don't understand why they would be freaking out about it, because they're not.
Because it's a work. It's a work.
Why go through all of those elaborate measures to work people like that?
Have you watched pro wrestling in the past life?
Well, yeah, of course, but that usually leads to something.
Sure.
If Half-Life isn't happening, then why go through the trouble to work people? Because
it's fun to troll people. People want to watch the world burn, Dave.
No, it's not funny, because then you get development hell vaporware like Final Fantasy VII Remake when you troll somebody. Please be excited.
This is true.
No, we're not excited. Where's the real one? Okay, guys, we got to throw this together for E3. Okay, bing.
Oh shit!
It's happening.
So, I mean, do you put any merit behind Half-Life 3 perhaps getting Announced at E3 this year for October release date.
Look, here's the thing. Valve has this interest in Vive VR.
Yes.
I think they've talked about the only way that they would really want to do Half-Life 3 is if they're able to push the boundaries of gaming, push new technology, etc.
Mm-hmm.
VR hasn't found its killer app yet. So I've been saying for the past couple of years, if Half-Life is going to happen, I think it's going to happen as a VR title for Vive. Now,
it better be for Oculus as well, man. I want stuff for my Oculus.
Right.
Shit.
Is
it VR only though? Is it, or could they have a VR? Because because people who want this game so bad, they would be dumb to not have a non-VR version of it.
Yeah, I don't think that they would be able to get away with not having a non-VR version.
Right.
With that being said, remember back towards the beginning of this year, there was supposed to be like a financial document or something leaked that said Microsoft was exploring purchasing a number of different companies. One of those was the creators of PUBG. One was EA, which is, I think, out of the realm of possibility. The other one was Valve.
Right.
Now, with the direction that Microsoft is wanting to go here with the next generation, I take their idea of buying Valve seriously.
Okay.
And I think they're aggressive enough with this coming shift and the coming next generation that they would go and at least try to secure a deal with Valve for Half-Life 3. So I think if Half-Life 3 happens, I think it's going to be announced at E3 on Microsoft's stage.
Boy, what a win for Microsoft there. I mean, we thought PUBG was a big win, and it was. But it would pale in comparison to if Microsoft said, hey, Half-Life 3.
Well, could you imagine towards the end of their conference, Sunday, June 10th, 2018, which you can watch right here on Facebook Live and on the Nerd Bacon Twitch channel.
Do it.
Wouldn't it be amazing if towards the end of that conference, Phil Spencer's there and he's talking about acquiring new talents, and he wants to introduce you to the head of a studio that they've just acquired, and out walks Gabe Newell.
With a head crab on his head.
The internet would shake. The meltdown would be so ridiculous. But
yeah,
Microsoft acquires Valve. You can play your Steam library through Xbox One.
That'd be sick. That would be sick. That would be a win.
Maybe with a Games Pass subscription, you get access to your Steam library, and you can stream that to your Xbox One or any Microsoft device. So they talk about that. That shakes the foundations of the internet. And then they say, oh, well, thank you very much, Gabe, for coming out. And Gabe says, oh, wait, before I go, one more thing. Lights go dark. Half-Life 3 trailer rolls exclusively for PC and Xbox One. Conference over. Can you imagine what that would be like if that happens?
You talk about the ultimate mic drop. Like, that would be...
It would be, dude.
That's Microsoft saying... That's Microsoft pulling a Bray Wyatt and saying, we're here.
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, though.
No, it's not.
I don't think it is. Now, the question is, I don't think Gabe Newell is a big fan of Microsoft, even though he is ex-Microsoft. But Valve has had all these Linux initiatives that they've been undertaking over the past year. So it feels like they've been trying to push an alternative to Windows, but I don't know. You never know. What a man's heart changes very easily when you wheel a dump truck full of money up his driveway. So
money talks.
And Gabe is getting older, so maybe he wants to ride off into the sunset like Notch, just with
all his knives. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Valve's making money. Okay, Valve's got money through Dota and through Counter-Strike and through everything they do. And Valve just acquired, if I remember right, I read where Valve acquired Campo Santo, who made Firewatch. I believe they're partner.
That's
Valve's
right.
now. So.
And also remember, Gabe, in an interview just a couple months ago, said that you're going to start seeing new game announcements from Valve very soon. And yeah, that Campo Santos acquisition was very interesting, very out of the blue for a company that really hasn't been making that much in the way of games recently, beyond, card games and Dota expansions and stuff like that. So yeah, it's
interesting. Like this E3 feels just like something big is going to happen. Something that may change the gaming landscape might actually happen at E3 this year.
I think several different things might happen, but I think Microsoft is they're the most interesting one to watch this year. I think they're again coming in playing the wild card. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
It's fun to see Microsoft starting to throw some punches here. They haven't been dormant for a couple of years now. Now they're going to come out swinging. It's like, okay, good. Now we have an actual fight on our hands here.
Well, hopefully, they learn to put their body weight behind their punch. It's one thing to punch like this, but you got to put that weight into it. So
you got to put those teraflops behind there.
Exactly.
Speaking of E3, Nintendo has come out and said, "Hey, do you like Smash?" Well, Smash is the big thing that we're going to talk about at E3. So yeah, we got the teaser for Smash at the Nintendo Direct, and now Nintendo's saying, hey, at E3, we will spill a lot of beans on the new Smash.
That is correct. They've basically said that they're going to focus on Smash Brothers this year. I still think I still think Pokemon is going to make it out this year. So
sure.
You might have a dual setup where you've got Smash on one side at E3 and Pokemon on the other, which would be just freaking amazing.
Now, does this mean we won't see anything about Metroid Prime 4? Will we see anything about that this year?
I don't know. I think that's more for a E3 preview episode. I think we do. I think we see just a little teaser for Metroid Prime 4.
Okay.
But I don't think that they're going to show a lot of it. The biggest question on everybody's mind is who's going to be in Smash? Is it going to play like Melee? And the other big question for Nintendo is, will we see Retro's new game?
Yeah, now that they're done with Donkey Kong, that comes out this week. It comes out this Friday, I believe.
Yep.
They can go on and make Earthbound 2 or whatever they're making right now. It'll be cool. I'm interested in what Retro's doing.
Well, one interesting thing, their lead writer just announced over Twitter that he's leaving. He's heading back to his home in Montreal. So that just broke yesterday. And also he's beating back everybody who's begging him to spill the beans on what he's been working on. He's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm under NDA.
Just stop asking. God bless it.
Yeah, so to me, that says, hey, this guy was under contracted work. He's finished his project. He's done. Now he's going back home. That means that their project is pretty much finished at this point. So I think we're going to see it this year. And as I said back in January, I feel it in my bones. I'm sticking by it. I'm sticking by Earthbound. New Earthbound developed by Retro happening. Just doing it.
Here's my question. Do you think it'll be a full-on sequel, or will it be kind of a reimagining, like a Yakuza Kiwami on Earthbound? Because a bunch of people in our generation, a bunch of people in like a generation behind us who have not even heard of Earthbound, have not heard of Mother or Earthbound. It's a rare game. Not a rare game, because that wouldn't come out for like 5 more years. But would this be a full I don't say HD remake, but a reimagining of the original game, or would it be a full-on sequel?
I think it'll be a full-on sequel.
Okay.
That's just me, though.
Okay. We'll have more insights on this during our E3 preview show, because we're going to kick that off the days before E3. We'll kick off our previews. And, of course, before every conference, we will give a quick rundown of what we think will happen, and then be totally wrong.
What do you think of Nintendo? Nintendo's got a new president that they announced last week.
Yeah, I needed to read more on that because he was heavily involved in Pokemon.
Yes.
I'm blanking on his name. I'm sorry.
His last name is Furukawa. He was invested in Pokemon and with the development of the Nintendo Switch.
Shuntaro Furukawa.
There we go. So he's young. He's 46. I think he's lived in Germany for a while. He's fluent in English. So that tells me that he's got more of a cosmopolitan flavor to him. Maybe a broader worldview than traditionally what you might see at the head of a Japanese company, which is good.
You like him. You like him because one of his favorite games is Golf Story.
Yes, that was to me that was pretty big. It sounds like he is an actual gamer, which, honestly, you don't really see that at the heads of these major companies. The CEO doesn't need to play games; just needs to be good at business.
Sure.
But this guy, seems like he's a lot like Iwata, where he does care about games. He is a gamer. He did mention Golf Story was one of his recent favorites, which that's some street cred right there, like you say, because Golf Story is a fantastic game.
I keep meaning to pick that up. I need more Switch games. I think we had, if I can sidebar real quick, I think we had said, I had said a year ago that I just worry about when Switch comes out to get games. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've had the same 5 games for the past half year. Because really nothing's come out that I just need to have on Switch. Of course, that will change this month with Donkey Kong and Street Fighter 30th and stuff like that. But I got Splatoon and Zelda and Mario and Rocket League. I've got the basics. And I'm like, I wish there was more to this console.
I think you need to finish. Zelda.
Oh man,
that's what you need to do.
I know. Well, you need to finish Mario Odyssey. So
yeah, I do. I'm busy though. E3.
Well, I gotta finish God of War at some point.
E3 is coming, man. I don't have time.
I know. I'm trying to play so many games. I got tonight when we're done after the podcast. I'm gonna stream Fortnite Season 4 Day 1.
Oh,
because Season 4 just kicked off today, and the entire map is different.
Hey, here's an interesting thing. You were talking a couple of weeks ago, and you streamed a couple of weeks ago, Radical Heights.
I did.
Yeah, and then that game, it was shown a couple days ago. It came out that's lost 83% of its player base in the 2 weeks since it's been out in early access.
That's a big number.
That is a huge number.
That's the death knell to many games.
Is Cliff Bleszinski, is he cursed?
I don't know. It's if you went to Bacon.com, you could see my sizzle reel live of me playing that game, and I give my thoughts saying that it's got some potential. It's in very early access, but I think, are we at that point as a gaming society where if it's not instantly pleasurable, that we just give up on it?
I think we might be, because
in this genre, in this genre specifically, if a game comes out and goes, oh, it's not Fortnite, done.
Think about it though. When all of your friends are playing Fortnite, that's the biggest addiction that's out there right now. You go to play this new game. If that does not immediately grab you and grab your friends, then you're going to go back to where your friends are playing, and that's Fortnite. So it's.
And I can liken this to World of Warcraft. I mean, World of Warcraft has stood the test of time as the best MMO. There are games that have come out that said, hey, we're the WoW killer, and your friends go, okay, we'll try this. But you always, no matter what, you end up back at what you know best, which is WoW.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, what can we attribute that to, besides what we just said with the short attention spans? I had said that it was a good idea to put out early access to kind of just gauge the crowd, and because it's still kind of uncharted territory with this genre as far as, you've got the 2 big hitters and then a couple underneath of it. So do we think with the extremeness of the early access, that hurt it?
I think so. I think it needed to be in the oven just a little bit longer, because basically they slapped it together in what feels like 2 or 3 weeks. And they're like, hey,
it was 5 months.
Look at us. We're doing an early access game too. Remember another early access game that you're like? It's called Fortnite. We're like Fortnite. Come play us too. We can be the next big thing. But I don't think it was in the oven long enough. And that is readily apparent now that you've got an 83% drop in the user base right off the bat there.
Can they, and what can they do to get that crowd back? Not all of it, because there are people who just say, no, I'm done. But to get a fraction of that back, what could they do? if they can do anything.
I think that's a better question for you to answer since you've actually played it.
I mean,
it's a great
regular
question,
updates,
though, because that's tough.
Yeah, because I think regular updates is fine, and getting that out on Twitter and just say, hey, we're fixing this stuff. We're taking your feedback. I don't know.
What they really need to do, besides the regular updates, what they really need to do is introduce some sort of unique element that sets it apart from Fortnite.
Right.
And says, hey, this is who we are. Fortnite's cool, but come play us too, because we offer something that Fortnite's not offering right now. If they can do that, then they can be successful. And that's exactly what Fortnite did to the last big flavor of the 5 months, which was PUBG.
PUBG. And PUBG is still popular. It's still top 10. So I think you had said you're worried about that game dropping out of favor and that genre kind of tanking. PUBG is still doing just fine.
Right, right. But it's not at the tip of everybody's tongue. You don't have VG 24/7 doing constant PUBG articles anymore. It's constant Fortnite.
The Fortnite stuff. And I think Radical Heights leaned into the BMX stuff and the 80s and 90s vibe. And I think they needed to do more. I wanted to lean more into the game show aspect, and make it a real Smash TV.
Yeah.
Do it because Darwin Project just went free to play. I shouldn't say just, but it recently went free to play, and that leans into the Hunger Games stuff. You have a dedicated human being as the overlord host who talks to the competitors and gives advantages out. That's cool. That's a game. That's a big game. That's more than a bike and a vibe.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, it definitely needs something.
Yeah, give it a kick in the ass.
Yeah, whatever it's doing right now is not helping.
No, it's
being
not.
A Me Too game is not helping.
Yeah. Being an also ran on this genre is. I still think this genre is going to explode here very soon. I think you can kind of feel it bubbling up here a little bit. Fortnite is the most played game ever right now, but you can kind of feel like it's going to get out of hand here pretty soon. But yeah, Season 4, speaking of the game, Season 4 just kicked off today. Mm-hmm. The map is way different. So the comets hit, and the map has been leveled and changed, which is a nice kind of a change of pace to what we've been used to. I'll stream some of that and just kind of they took away the crossbow, which is a bummer for me. I got one of my best kills ever was on that damn crossbow, so damn it. Now I'm more useless in that game. But no, I want to play more of it. I enjoy Fortnite. I suck at building, but I enjoy playing Fortnite, and that's kind of the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I should give that game another couple of whirls there. I've only played it once. I was like, okay, that's what this is. I don't get it, but
let's see. Justin chiming in. Hi, level up, Justin. Fortnite made $223 million in the month of March across all platforms, and it's free to play.
Damn it, Justin! Now that you have a baby, all you care about is money.
Thanks, Justin.
Let me tell you about something that your baby can't teach you. That's love.
I think they totally can. Literally, they can teach that. Exactly what they can do. That's nuts how across all platforms that game made hundreds of millions of dollars and it cost you nothing to play it.
Yeah, it's a wild world we're living in, my friend.
It's going to take more than BMX bikes and a vibe if I would take care of that.
Yeah, how is that going to change the gaming landscape going forward? More developers are going to try this route and with different genres.
Sure.
So, I mean, do we eventually see the death of the $60 video game?
Boy, I sure hope not. Because, if you put a battle royale mode in Red Dead 2, which I'm hearing is a possibility.
Oh, everything will have a battle royale mode in it.
Like that's the way you want to go. Is you can get this full campaign and multiplayer, but you also attach to this you get this bolted on battle royale mode.
Yeah, Yoshi for the Nintendo Switch. Delayed because they're putting a battle royale mode.
Yep, you can customize your different colored Yoshis, and then you can. Yeah.
I'll kill you.
That will extra suck. I mean, they're going to put Battle Royale in the next Battlefield game. Like, this is going to take off huge. So, I think that's the way you want to do it. If you're the big name publisher, you kind of want to just bolt it onto your already big product, because that will just drive numbers to your already big product. Like if Call of Duty had a Battle Royale mode, people were going to buy the shit out of the game anyway.
Yeah,
but now you say here Battle Royale, they'll buy more shit out of it.
That's all it's going to have is multiplayer. They're according to rumors, they're not doing a single player.
Yeah, even Activision's giving up. So like,
but that makes sense now. Remember the big poop storm that happened a few weeks prior to that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 rumor coming out. There was the rumor about the Modern Warfare 2 remaster was only going to be single player, and everybody was like, "Oh, damn you!" And now this game is coming out. The new game is only going to have multiplayer, so maybe that makes a little bit more sense now, doesn't it?
This is just going to be a weird time. I just think we're kind of in a weird spot for gaming. I'm excited for what E3 is going to bring, but also I'm a little nervous for what E3 is going to bring this year.
We don't know. Hey, did you watch the Shadow of the Tomb Raider trailer got released on Friday last week?
Ooh, I did not.
Well, it was just a CG trailer, so we're not seeing any, actual gameplay elements or anything like that. But, for me, I love the other two Tomb Raider games, so I'm pretty pumped about this. It's taking place in South America. You got the Aztecs or the Mayans or whatever. And I know I'm going to get blasted for not being culturally correct. I'm sorry. Yeah. But so you got that South America culture. You got people on top of the pyramids down there, and they're about to stab people's hearts out. And
that's the Mexicans. That's the Aztecs in Mexico.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for correcting me. I apologize for my ignorance.
Better me than the internet.
Yes, I apologize for my sudden ignorance. Anyway.
I don't know. I did. Like I said, I think I said before. Like I played the first Tomb Raider and the rebooted Tomb Raider, and then I have Rise on the computer, and I didn't get to touch it.
Rise is good. I like Tomb Raider a little bit better than Rise, but Rise was still all right. I liked elements of Rise's story better, and I like the overall arching themes of Rise of the Tomb Raider a little bit better. But yeah, it looks like it's going to continue on this origin story arc for Lara Croft, so it's going to be cool. It'll be interesting to see what they do going beyond Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because this is supposed to, like we said, complete her origin trilogy.
Sure.
And so after this, she's the Lara Croft that we all knew from the mid-'90s, the badass Lady Indiana Jones Tomb Raider that we all fell in love with, so...
Tomb Raider Battle Royale. Here we go.
Damn it.
I really what I want to I'd be more interested in a new Hitman. Like with the way Hitman turned out last year, or the last season of Hitman, that game is phenomenal. I would love to hear more about a season 2 or a proper sequel to that Hitman stuff. That's what I want more than Tomb Raider. Spit everywhere.
It'll be interesting to see how they are able to push the action, the cinematic action genre forward. Because let's face it, Tomb Raider is pretty much a ripoff of Uncharted at this point.
Sure, but
it's a good ripoff. It's really good.
Yes. If you're gonna rip something, ripping the best.
Yeah.
And let's say, God of War is a really good cinematic action adventure, so the bar is set pretty high.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull down some other...
Here's a random question for you.
Sure.
Speaking of cinematic adventure games, what if a little game called Metroid Prime 4 went that route? What if they didn't do first person? What if they went third person cinematic adventure like Tomb Raider?
It's not Prime.
Uncharted?
It's not Prime.
I don't know. I think it would be interesting.
Sorry, it's not Prime.
Not Prime. Say no sale.
Nope. They tried that with Other M, and it didn't turn out great.
Well, the gameplay of Other M was okay, but it was the terrible story of Other M that sank it. That's what we should do. We should do another M stream.
Yeah. Well, I gotta dig out. That was the Wii or Wii U?
That is Wii.
Okay, I still have my Wii somewhere.
Yeah.
Dark Souls Remastered Network Test kicks off May 11th.
Oh, there you go.
FYI. That will be available on PS4 and Xbox One. Players are able to test the game on Friday, May 11th and Saturday, May 12th from 6 p.m. to midnight Pacific each day. The test version will be limited to the Undead Parish location and have players summoning co-op partners to or invade other games.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so people can... because that version will still come out on May 25th for PS4, PC, and Xbox One. Of course, Switch version got delayed.
Yes. Speaking of the Switch version, not necessarily of that, but the segue that I'm making is with stuff with an online test.
Sure.
When are we going to get the Mario Aces online test? Because that game is coming out next month.
Yeah, we should be getting something on that because ARMS had their global test punch about this time before the game came out, right?
Yeah, like they had like a couple of them before the game came out.
I'm going to see if I get anything, if I do a quick Google search here of... Okay, I got something here.
Uh-oh.
Nintendo confirmed, okay, yes, the new Switch launches June 22nd. Let's see, I think it's somewhere in here, the demo coming out on this article. Leading up to the release, the company will hold a pre-release tournament where players can download a demo and compete against others in live matches. No details yet. Huh.
Some outlet called PowerUpGaming.com published an article on April 15th stating that Square Enix's Avengers project, which I don't know if for people who don't remember, Square Enix a couple of years ago announced that they were teaming up with Marvel to do an Avengers game. It was going to be developed by Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And this article is saying that it's going to be kind of their destiny. So,
it's my destiny. There's a battle royale themed board. There's a battle royale themed board game on Kickstarter right now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm on Polygon, kind of getting this news here. The game is called Last One Standing, the Battle Royale board game. The basic pledge runs $40 and includes all the unlocked stretch goals. So if you want to get a battle royale board game on Kickstarter, it'd be a pledge on that. Last One Standing, the Battle Royale board game. Last One Standing looks pretty straightforward. 2 to 8 players drop into the modular game board, gather loot, and gun each other down. Character inventories are managed using cards placed on a set of color-coded sideboards. About 10 minutes per player. Also a few nods to PUBG, including markers for random artillery strikes. See? Battle Royale games are everywhere, including board games. It's kind of nuts. Let's see. Capcom re-releasing Mega Man 2 and Mega Man X on cartridge.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You say that was on Polygon's website?
Yes.
I would totally get a... yeah, go ahead. Read the story. I'm sorry.
Capcom and IM 8-Bit are releasing 2 Mega Man Classics, Mega Man 2, and Mega Man X in physical form. Both games will get 30th anniversary classic cartridge releases later this year. The cartridges, Mega Man 2 for the NES, and the Mega Man X for the Super NES. Oh, God. It's NES and SNES. My apologies. Limited to 8,500 copies each. Each one comes with a $100 price tag. It will include deluxe packaging and premium instruction booklets.
Bastards. Okay, so that's kind of what they did with Street Fighter 2. They re-released it for like $100.
Right. Each cartridge houses the original game code on a brand new PCB board and are fully playable on NTSC consoles.
That's really tempting, but I couldn't justify...
Mega Man 2 I would justify in a heartbeat. Mega Man 2 was one of the best games ever, and I would totally buy one of those.
I would totally get Mega Man X, but $100 is a lot. If it was like $30, then yeah, definitely, without thinking, but yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like this resurgence of games on cartridges.
It's neat. And the cartridge, I'm looking at pictures of the special edition cartridge and everything. It looks really crisp.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to put them in my back pocket for later. New character revealed for Soul Calibur 6, Taki.
Yeah.
The franchise mainstay who's been around since the original Soul Edge will return for Soul Calibur 6. I was excited for Soul Calibur 1 recently, so
yeah, I'm excited for that game. Hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year. Hopefully there won't be a delay or anything. But
yeah. Oh, do we know? So tomorrow is the Red Dead 2 trailer.
Yep.
Okay.
Tomorrow is the day.
You trying to pick up any other bits of news here? Oh, there's a report saying that actually there was one in Q1 2018. There was a retailer who sold one Sega Game Gear game.
Good for them.
Yeah. So in quarter 1 2018, a retailer sold a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Game Gear.
Who had that lying around their inventory?
They don't know. They're trying to find out who that was and figure out why that happened.
Yeah, that's funny. What a find for that person, though.
Yeah. I wonder what that retailed for.
It was pennied out.
Probably.
Anywho, well,
I remember getting all those old game guides from GameStop, and we'd penny those things out. You want these?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
That's kind of the big stuff I had. I mean, the Harry Potter mobile game, Hogwarts Mystery, came out last week. I've downloaded it, haven't had a chance to try it yet. But other than that, that's kind of the last stuff I had for gaming.
Yeah, that's about it. It's kind of a slow week, but
the build up though, we are just about a month from E3, so the build up's starting to happen. We're getting some news leaks, but I think the closer we get to June 6th, the more stuff will get leaked out, and the more hype we're going to get for E3.
That's right. And again, you can tune in for all the conferences for E3, and we'll be providing pre-game analysis before each of the different press events happens.
And that's going to be, we have EA, we have Ubisoft, we have Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. Is that it? EA, Ubisoft, the big three.
Bethesda,
thank you.
It should be 6.
I know it wasn't Square Enix, it was Bethesda. Thank you.
Yep. So yeah, we'll be live covering all of those about 30 minutes to an hour before each one of those press events begins. We'll be live right here on Facebook Live, as well as twitch.com or twitch.tv/nerdbacon. And we'll preview each event, give our thoughts on what we're about to see, and then you can watch along with us as we provide expert commentary and reactions to all of the megaton announcements that occur during those press conferences. And stay tuned as we digest everything for you and with you. It's going to be a festival of gaming. You're not going to want to miss it. E3 2018 not only at Nerd Bacon, but as only Nerd Bacon can do.
That's right. You're going to get reactions such as Dave, like a little girl, when Metroid Prime 4 got announced. That clip is still one of the best clips on Twitch. Also on YouTube, you can see Dave squealing like a little girl when Metroid Prime 4 comes out. Metroid Prime 4 got announced. So we will have probably more clippable bits when you watch that.
And if Chrono Trigger 2 ever gets announced, you will see me openly weep.
If Saturday Night Slam Masters gets released, I will cry.
Yeah.
God damn it! Now that's in my head.
It's gonna be like the bro jump up and hug.
Pretty much at this point.
Like that or Darkstalkers 4, I think.
True. Or if they made a good game and let's say let's make a new Puzzle Fighter or a Pocket Fighter, I would lose my mind. Oh god.
If I turn out to be right on Earthbound, yeah.
High fives all around. High fives and drinky
my
drinks.
Clothes.
High fives and whiskeys all around. What are you playing right now, Dave?
I am not really playing much of anything right now. I've been really busy with some work projects, but yeah, hopefully I can get back to some God of War soon, but I kind of doubt it because, like we've talked at the beginning of the show, it is May now, so a bunch of E3 articles are incoming.
I think you mean it's currently May.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, Dave's in the middle of a move. I'm going to be moving here in about a month or so as well. to my new place whenever I can find that, because it's apartment hunting season. Oh God. But yeah, I'm trying to sit with God of War. Last night on the Jeff Roth stream, I streamed about 6 hours of Dreamcast games. Dreamcast, again, is my personal favorite console of all time. I'm reminded how good Soul Calibur 1 still is.
That game.
And reminded how Street Fighter 3, the original 3 and Second Impact are kind of hard to go back to. SF3 they're still good games, but man, Third Strike is where it's at.
The Dreamcast versions of those were just not as good for some reason. I really didn't like Third Strike until that PlayStation 2 port came out for the Anniversary Collection. And
we're going to be playing the shit out of that when the new version of 30th Anniversary Collection comes out this month. I'm getting on Switch and PC because yes. I'm also playing some MVC2, which goddamn the game is still so good. That Dreamcast version is mwah. I played 6 hours Dreamcast games. I'm losing my goddamn mind. I found out I can do a really good Crazy Taxi announcer voice. So
really,
we're gonna make some crazy money.
Hey, that's not bad. That is not bad at all.
That's right.
I did pick up just this afternoon. I know I was messaging you about it, but I picked up Star Fox Assault for the GameCube. So once I get everything set back up and after E3 season is over, we're going to celebrate Star Fox's 25th anniversary properly with a playthrough of all the key titles in the Star Fox series in one afternoon. So that'll be Star Fox, Star Fox 2 on the Super NES Classic, Star Fox 64, Star Fox Assault, and Star Fox Zero.
Zero is not great.
No, it's not. But you know what? We're going to celebrate those furry critters.
Hey, you take the good games, and we have both played our share of crap games in our life.
So stay tuned for that official announcement and official date.
Yes. So, Dave, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Dave the Watchman. And then you can always contact me through nerdbacon.com.
You can find me... I did the joke last week. You can't find me in St. Louis. I don't live there. Old joke. You can find me on Twitter at Jeff Roth. Also, twitch.tv/Jeff Roth. I stream there very often. Like I said, last night was some Dreamcast stuff. Tonight I'll be checking out some Fortnite Season 4, day numero uno, to see how bad I am at that. I'm going to play. I need to play more God of War because that game is so good, and it will escape me if I don't get my hands on it before E3 comes around. You'll also find some articles from me at nerdbacon.com. Dave, any final words before we sign off here tonight?
Final words. I cannot wait to see that Red Dead trailer tomorrow, and stay tuned because I've got a sneaky feeling we're going to see one more Nintendo Direct before E3 detailing their online plans, so that could be coming soon.
Well, from all of us here at the Level Up Lariat Podcast, hopefully we'll get Justin back here next week. I want to pick his brain because he's been out having the baby, so hopefully we can pick his brain next week and kind of see what he's been up to. But from all of us at the Level Up Lariat Podcast and nerdbacon.com, everybody game and tasty. Join us back here on Facebook and Twitch next week for our thoughts on Backlash and other games we've been playing, because news is coming out before E3. The hype is real. Stick with us. We will see y'all next week.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.